This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted to be joined for the first time by Sol Dacres. We're here in Manchester ahead of Joshua Buatsi versus Blando dos Santos. But more importantly, ahead of your professional debut. How you doing, Sol? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm all good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm very good, thanks. Very good. I've just mentioned there, it's ahead of your professional debut. You must be chomping at the bit. It's been a long time since we've seen you in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, it's been a long time coming for this debut, and I'm just itching to go. I really am itching to go. Yeah.
Frustrating. Obviously, a lot of boxers' careers, well, a lot of people in general, not just in boxing, their careers have been stalled by the coronavirus pandemic. But fighters, combat sports, you love to get in the ring, get itchy knuckles, so to speak. Frustrating little period for you.
Yeah, like you say, it's been a long time out of the ring, and that's what I do. That's what my whole life's revolving around, boxing, and I haven't been able to box for about 18 months. But I'm in the same boat as a lot of other fighters, so just had to make sure I stayed in the gym the whole time and make sure I'm preparing myself and I'm really ready to go when I can get out, which will be tomorrow now.
Now, a lot of fighters always say they need to a date to strive towards, or when you're in the amateurs, a tournament to work towards, or something like that. You've not had that, so how have you basically been able to keep yourself sane without something to work towards?
Yeah, I've just had to stay in the gym and live the life. I've been living the life anyway. Obviously, that little incentive of a date of, like you said, a tournament for the amateurs or a fight date coming up, but I've just had to stay on it and know that I am going to fight at some point. So I've just stayed in the gym and just kept the discipline, which I've held for years in the game anyway.
Now, I know that you've been kind of doing the rounds and doing the circuits, doing sparring and what have you. Obviously, you're coming from that amateur setup, so you'd have had great exposure to some great talents in the past. Just talk to us a little bit about some of the sparring sessions that you've had. Yeah,
I've been active in terms of sparring. I've been sparring top guys, like you say, on the GB squad, Fraser Clark, and I've been sparring Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce when they was fighting last year. Done a few more rounds with Dubois this year as well, and other top guys over the years, Joshua's, your other heavyweights, good Bacoli, guys like that. So I've been in the gym and sparring, and we've still been getting that experience as well in that sense.
Now, you've not boxed as a professional yet. You've come from the amateurs, but you have boxed in the World Series of Boxing. What's that like? I'm always very keen to speak to amateurs who have gone through that setup, because it's not like the traditional amateur setup, but of course it's not quite the pros. Talk to us about the World Series of Boxing.
Yeah, WSB, it's good because when you're always doing tournament boxing, it's like a little bit more lights and camera and all that, so you do get a little feel of what it might be like when you turn pro. The vests come off, you do 5 rounds, so it's a bit more of a show. So really, it's like the pros. And in my early days, it'll be like I've had my pro debut anyway, because I fought some top guys in the WSB. So I fought good fighters, vest off, done the longer rounds. So it's prepared me really. It's like I've had my pro debut already.
Yeah, that's good. Colin, one of the good things about the WSB is it's the very top amateurs, and you're fighting guys who are, with all due respect, your opponent tomorrow night is probably going to be of a significantly higher level than what you're facing tomorrow night. With that being said, do you know much about your opponent tomorrow?
Yeah, we've had a little look and tried to find clips on YouTube, just so we've got a sort of sense of style and little things he might do. So we don't take any opponent lightly. I've been training hard, so I've got to respect anyone that steps in the ring, and by putting that hard training in, that's how I show that respect for the fight game. And I just got to make sure I'm on my A game no matter who's in there, and it's all about my own performance. That's what I'm focused on.
This bubble's got a little bit of a Brummy, Midlanders kind of flavour to it. We've got the Yaffis over there. We've got yourself, of course. I was speaking to the Yaffis yesterday about Birmingham being the second city, being such a thriving city, and the talent that's coming through there. There's yourself, of course. There's Ben Whittaker, who's due to turn over, I think, soon or potentially later on this year. Obviously, everybody's kind of waiting to see what's going on with the Olympics and who does what. There's Fraser Clark as well. How successful could Birmingham boxing be in the future? It's got all of this talent coming through, but I mean, Cal Yafai over there, first world champion from Birmingham, but need the floodgates to open, really. Need Birmingham to not join the party, but to really fulfil its potential as a big city.
100%, like you say, Birmingham, we're the second city, but cities like we're in now, Manchester, your Liverpools, they've always had a big boxing following, and Birmingham, we need to try and get ourselves established on the boxing map. We've had Cal as a world champion, but he's been our only world champion, and we've got Gamal who's European champion now, so things are starting to step on. And then myself, hopefully, especially being a heavyweight, should be able to bring some heavyweight glory to Birmingham, and that should really rally the Brummies behind me, hopefully, yeah.
I just mentioned there Fraser Clark as well, another heavyweight, another guy who's going to be gunning for gold at the Olympics. How much experience have you got with Fraser over the years? I'm guessing you'd have done quite a bit of work together.
Yeah, loads. I mean, over the 4 years I was on GB, See, Fraser's been there a long time. He's been there since I was on there, so that's week in, week out. I couldn't even count the rounds I've done with him. I've done countless rounds with him, and it was me and him really the only two super heavyweights on the GB squad for the last few years, before a couple of new guys went on last year. So I've done countless rounds with Fraser. That's like week in, week out, to be honest.
How do you think he's going to get on at the Olympics?
Yeah, and he's focused. He's in good form. He's picked up a good gold in his last tournament, so he's just got to go out there, get his qualification, and it's really his time. He's been in there a long time waiting for him in the Olympics. So all the best to him. Hopefully he does the job. Back
to yourself. Talk to me about Sam Jones. Obviously, everybody's very familiar with Sam. I think he kind of came on the scene a few years ago as a bit of a young whippersnapper, and he's kind of developed as a manager and grown himself a nice stable, of course, which you're part of. Talk to us about the influence of Sam Jones on your career.
Yeah, Sam's a great front man for you to have as a manager. He's chomping at the bit all the time. He's looking for opportunities. He's here, there, and everywhere. So he's the guy to have in your corner. You'd rather have him with you than against you. So he's great. He's like a little, like you say, whippersnapper. He's in every little aspect. There's things that I wouldn't even think about, and he's always onto little things. So it's great to have him on my side.
Completely coincidental that he just started walking past when we started talking about him. But anyway, just I'll leave the final word with you. I'm going to speak to your stablemate, Lorraine Richards, your managerial stablemate, Lorraine Richards. Final word with you. I mean, the British heavyweight scene all over is thriving. There's obviously Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. There's Dillian White. You can go down the whole list in the UK, really thriving. What can fans expect from you, the new name in the heavyweight division, tomorrow night when you make your debut here in Manchester?
Yeah, they can expect exciting fights. Definitely, and hopefully get onto that stage like you're talking about, Joshua's and your Furies. Hopefully another world-class heavyweight coming from Birmingham and coming from England. So just tune in and follow my journey all the way.
Okay, well, Sol Dacres, we look forward to seeing you make your professional debut, your long-awaited professional debut tomorrow night in Manchester. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social.
Nice one, man. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.